Former Vice President and failed presidential candidate Kamala Harris isn't ruling out running again.
Have you made a decision yet?
No, I have not. I am not done. I have lived my entire career a life of service, and it's in my bones. And there are many ways to serve. I've not decided yet what I will do in the future beyond what I am doing right now.
She's running, I'm here to tell you. That's my prediction. While California Governor Gavin Newsom also admits he's thinking about a White House run.
Is it fair to say after the 2026 midterms, you're going to give it serious thought?
Yeah, I'd be lying otherwise. I'd just be lying, and I can't do that. Yeah, I think the biggest challenge for anyone who runs for any office is people see right through you if you don't have that why. You're doing it for the wrong reasons. And so, look, well, that fate will determine that.
Well, at least he's honest. Strategists noted Newsom has made recent moves to broaden his appeal. He recently appeared on a podcast reminiscing about his childhood.
You know, it was also about paying the bills, man. And it was just like hustling. Mm-hmm. And so I was out there kind of raising myself, turning on the TV, started, just getting obsessed, sitting there with the Wonder Bread and 5 stacks of,
it's like the White Stack 5 story.
Come on. Kraft macaroni and cheese. Bro.
But, a 1991 San Francisco Chronicle feature on kids of wealthy families tells an entirely different story. You see it there. Meanwhile, former President Biden showed his face in Boston this past weekend, speaking on the fight to defend democracy.
These are dark days, but we're one of the only countries in the world that time and again has come out of every crisis we faced stronger than we went into that crisis. America should be a place not of extremism and fury, but of decency and grace. That our institutions are what makes us the envy of the world, and our democracy is worth fighting like hell for. The idea is stronger than any army, more powerful than any dictator.
Well, Tomi Lahren could barely contain herself during the Newsom parts of this. That 1991 piece, the article was titled, "A New Generation Makes Its Mark. Society Kids Take Up Endeavors Outside the Expected Realm." It talks about Newsom, quote, in part, "The sons of Gordon Getty and Justice Bill Newsom are opening a wine shop in Cow Hollow in March called Plump Jack," and they go on with these pictures of Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, again, it's the All the Smoke podcast that he appeared on, and how insulting to people that actually had to bust their butt and grind and have Wonder Bread and mac and cheese. So disingenuous. It reminded me of Hillary Clinton on The Breakfast Club saying she had hot sauce in her bag at all times. It just must be so insulting for people. Again, when your daddy worked for the Getty family estate, I'm sure Emily well knows the Getty family and their legacy in California. I would highly doubt that Gavin Newsom was just sitting there with this Wonder Bread hustling. But this is what he has to do. He's a chameleon. How many podcasts does this man do a week, by the way? Am I the only one who notices that not only does he had a podcast called Politickin' with Marshawn Lynch. He did his own podcast, I Am Gavin Newsom, or This is Gavin Newsom. And then he appears on at least 2 to 3 podcasts a week, it certainly seems like. When does he make time to, I don't know, govern the 4th largest economy in the world? People in the Palisades still waiting for the permits to rebuild their homes, all of that stuff. But this man will do and say anything he needs to any group to appear genuine. But every time he does it, he comes off more fake and phony. I hope he runs. He's been running since 2020. And you know what? I hope Kamala runs too.
Yeah, I think they're both going to run. I mean, Emily, you lost all 12 swing states. President Trump, first Republican to win the popular vote in 20 years. But yeah, let's make a run for it.
Yeah, and may I please just provide a little more color too to the Gavin Newsom thing. So he claims that he grew up sort of impoverished, right? But as mentioned, his father was Justice Newsom. In fact, his father was the judge responsible for releasing the Chowchilla kidnapping perps and saying that it was just a prank gone wrong when they kidnapped the entire school bus and buried the children alive for 36 hours. It was horrific. So that's the kind of legacy that the Newsoms lead. And so he was then sort of quasi-adopted by the Gettys. But the whole point is his dad was still a judge. This isn't poverty. This is just being working class. So then they launched Plump Jack together, which is a multi-million-dollar wine empire in California. They have wineries and tasting rooms in Tahoe and San Francisco and the like. He has enjoyed as well the five-family donorship, which is the same donorship class as Kamala Harris all of these years. So from the get-go, they said, yes, you are the golden boy that we will get behind at this young age and propel you through the mayoral position and the governor position after he hid for a couple years in Montana, after he slept with his campaign manager's wife and broke up multiple marriages. He sort of retreated for a little bit and then emerged back on the political scene to assume the gubernatorial office. And then now, if he goes head-to-head with Kamala, that will be the first time that their pas de deux and their choreography actually isn't about sort of sidestepping each other, but going head-to-head with which one will indeed retain that five-family donor class. So he, believe me, has had a silver spoon in his mouth since day one.
It will be interesting to watch. It will also be interesting to watch the Democratic Party, and they're at a crossroads right now, Harris. I want you to watch this AOC this weekend, and let's see if this is the way the party goes.
This city was built by the Irish escaping famine, Italians fleeing fascism, Jews escaping Holocaust, Black Americans fleeing slavery and Jim Crow, Latinos seeking a better life, Native people standing for themselves, Asian Americans coming together in Queens, in Brooklyn, in the Bronx, in Manhattan, in Staten Island, in this country, in a vision to build the freest, toughest, and greatest city on earth.
The socialists have a lot of energy.
Yeah, they love to talk about slavery and the Holocaust. Remember earlier, Tommy, when I was telling you why I see Brandon Johnson and others, they pull those trigger words. They think that they can trigger in people of color fear about voting for anybody else but their party through these words. I mean, they think people are stupid. With AOC, though, it's a different brand. Because Bernie Sanders is saying she's ready to run for president. I'm sure you saw that from Senator Sanders. Yeah, I think this party is drunk on far leftism.
Yes.
She carries a banner. Mom Donnie is helping, and we will see where this goes. I don't know if the party has room for who I know we're going to hear from in a moment, Senator Fetterman, and many of the others. I can see why Angus King, now an independent, who's voting with Republicans to reopen the government, one of three people voting yes, not enough for the supermajority. But I understand why they don't side with him anymore. Now, he votes a lot with Democrats, but he has an I by his name. I get it. I get it. That's not who they are. But AOC, I mean, she is like Howard Dean with a bigger mic.
Yeah, I love that you said drunk on far leftism, because that's definitely how it feels. There is another path, and few give voice to it. You have John Fetterman. You named the other two senators. Listen to Fetterman. He says it's time to choose country over party.
I'm always going to vote country over party. I'm always going to vote for paying for the military over my party. The direction where my party's going, I mean, won't see. But I can control my vote and my voice. I'm going to call balls and strikes, and it's an easy choice to pick my country over the party.
And I want to be clear, Guy, he wasn't talking about AOC there or Mom Donnie, but he was simply talking about the shutdown. And he said, I'm choosing country. I'm choosing paying the military.
Yep. And if you look at the moment in Pennsylvania, I think this is an illustration of where things are in the Democratic Party coalition right now. Fetterman is above water on favorability, broadly speaking, among Pennsylvanians. But among Democrats and the base, they are furious with him, and they are plotting a primary challenge against him to throw him out of office. So someone who is talking common sense, who actually lives their sloganeering about country over party, which is usually just a lecture for Republicans, someone walking that walk, they can't tolerate that. They want him out.
Yeah, and he's plus 11 in the Morning Consult poll overall, as you note. And also, I would point out the last time the Democrats flipped a Senate seat was 2022. That was John Fetterman. Maybe try listening to him.
No Kings was therapy. So, Kat, a psychotherapist named Jonathan Alpert called the No Kings protest group therapy in the streets, blending emotional catharsis with activism, which isn't surprising when you learn that the typical attendee was an educated white woman in her 40s. The expert added that a lot of these people aren't happy with their personal lives and they're projecting their own anxiety and anger onto others. Does this make sense to you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, go, like, have fun. I feel like a lot of times living in New York, you see protests all the time. And sometimes you see people just, like, kind of having a great time.
Yeah.
I watched a group of people on my Instagram story as I was just, like, at home with my kid over the weekend. I watched them go to the No Kings protest during the day. And then at night, they went and saw an EDM show together.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this was just like a hang. It was like a day and everybody had a good time.
Yeah, I'm against that.
Yeah, I know you are.
Yeah. It is funny, though. Kat says she's home with her kid. That's kind of the issue, right? That, like, a lot of these people just don't have family, and this is their family.
Maybe. I mean, they said the average person was in her 40s. That seems young.
Yeah, it does.
Based on some of the videos.
Yeah, they're pretty old. And then you have this correlation of a high level of mental illness in that same group.
I would just say, like, I definitely prefer this to threatening ICE agents or shooting people.
Yeah, it's true.
Is, you know, so if you're gonna, we have kind of pressure valves in democracies, and protesting is one of them. Like, if this is what they want to do with their lives on a beautiful Saturday, I spent it with my family and I watched football and that was a good day. If this is what they want to do, it doesn't really bother me, but it is, I don't know, they seem to be doing this a lot. They're already hyping a new one. There's going to be a third one. I just don't get the appeal.
What if all these people, I get the appeal now, they were all trying to get away from football.
You're going to be at the next one.
It's too long. Saturday and Sunday, Monday, Thursday. It's like, give me a break.
Yeah.
It's at a certain point, it's enough. At a certain point, it's enough.
Never
okay,
enough.
You know what? I want to be with you. I want to be one of those people who enjoys it. It's not fun to not enjoy it because it's on in my house all day. I would much rather enjoy it.
Well, maybe
you're doing very well for a No Kings rally right now. That's a very No Kings vibe I just got.
I'm going to pick up a sign and be like, this is better than football.
What is your pressure valve, guy? How do you like to blow off a little steam?
It's not starting from the women's tee like you.
That was unnecessary.
Wow.
Michelle, what say you? Do you think that everything could be therapy, like pickleball, an art class?
Yeah.
And like Guy says, it doesn't lead to anything that, is destructive.
Even if these weren't destructive, there's so much anger there. That's what I see. I see anger dressed up in inflatable, cow suits. That's a lot of what you saw was in these inflatable animal suits, but with really angry people inside.
Yeah.
Now that could eventually get dangerous. I don't know. I think this whole No Kings branding, I guess it must have been brilliant because everyone seems to really like it and they're selling merch with it and no Kings. But it's so stupid. It reminds me of, you go by a bookstore and they have a big sign, we sell banned books. No, they're not banned because you're selling them.
Yeah.
So it's so stupid, and they try to come off as so intelligent and intellectual, and it's just mind-blowing.
Yeah, it's another imaginary problem.
Right.
Joe, is this where you go to meet women?
This is.
I mean, average age is 40. I know that's a little young, but.
Yeah. This is. That demographic of women, this is the time of the year when they start adding pumpkin spice to their antidepressants. And the funny thing is they don't have to worry about getting in trouble for anything they do at work because they're all the human resources ladies.
Yeah.
They're all a bunch of narcs. Yeah, I think the cats are probably glad that they're getting out of the house to stop dressing them up for a holiday.
All the cats in the neighborhood are getting together. Ooh,
like,
man.
put on the game. Yeah.
Let's watch some football.
Exactly.